Hi guys, have you ever been in a super stressed or frenetic or very intense state? Well, guess what? When you are in those states, your amygdala is likely leading the show. And what that means is basically part of your prefrontal cortex or part of your brain and access to your thinking capacity is shut down. So how do you go from a hyper-stressed or agitated state and get reset and back into a peak mental state or an emotional state in 10 minutes or less? I'm going to break down the 6 core steps right now. So without further ado, let's dive in. So how do we go from a stressed or overwhelmed state back into a calm, centered, connected, and powerful state? Well, there's 6 main steps, and I'm going to break down all 6 of them. And in many regards, you'll do all 6 together, or not all 6 together. You'll do a couple of them together at the same time. But it's really central to how do we get ourselves back into a relaxed state? Because a lot of my clients, they're high achieving entrepreneurs, and you just get overwhelmed, you get agitated, you get on guard, and you're like, hey, I got to do all these things, and everyone's demanding something of me, and I need to knock out all these things, and it feels like there's not enough hours in the day, not enough energy in the day. Well, you can feel even the energy of the stress there, right? So it's not resourceful and helpful for us if we stay locked into that state, because in fact we actually diminish our mental capacity to make smart decisions, and we actually diminish our capacity to think creatively and act decisively, and we're more likely to make mistakes as well. As I used to say, after I had a car wreck when I was 25, I pulled my car out. I was in a hurry and I rushed, and guess what? I got sideswiped, and it damaged my car and ruined the car where it totaled it out. It wasn't worth a whole lot. I was, 23 years old, maybe, if I remember correctly. But I wrote in this little note and had it in my desk for about 6 months. I said, hurry, sickness, wrecks. And in our lives right now, in our overly busy, frenetic, Americanized, westernized life, we're on our phones. We never have a down. We're always going. Got to get more done. Got to get this done. And what happens is you actually create the increased likelihood that you're going to make mistakes, that you're going to miss out on opportunity, and you're going to miss out on impact and also fulfillment. So the first thing is you're actually going to take control of your breath. Your breath is one of the main things that you can control at any state. And in fact, if you ever experience a significant accident, like a health scare, or you're in the hospital, whatever, one of the things they'll actually guide you to do is actually control your breath. So you'll just start with a nice slow breath. And one of the pathways I like to do it is just a 4 breath method. And comes from Dr. Andrew Weil, New York Times bestselling author on a lot of nutrition stuff, but also Harvard grad, started True Foods Kitchen. So he's an entrepreneur and thought leader in the space as well. So it's breathe in for 4 seconds, just hold for 4, 3, 2, 1, release slowly through your mouth over 4 seconds, leave empty for 4 seconds, and then you repeat it like 3 or 4 or 5 times, and you'll literally bring yourself out of that sympathetic, frantic fight or flight state back into your parasympathetic state if you do it intentionally enough and slow enough and focused state, right? The second piece of the breath work is actually step number 2, which is you focus on releasing. Where is that tension at? Ask your body, where is the tension, the fear, the anxiety, the stress? Where is it in my body? Am I feeling it in my chest? Am I feeling it in my shoulders? Am I feeling it in my gut? Whatever it is, just acknowledge it. Bring attention to it. And then as you're breathing out, you can literally see it, visualize it going out. Just go. You can see it leaving your body. Just imagine, give it a color, like ask your body, what color is this tension? It's often like red or orange or something like that. And you see it releasing, and then brings you back into a calmer state. Okay, which brings us to the third thing, which is to get yourself grounded and present in your body. So after you do the breath work, after you focus on the release, then bring presence into your body. And I'll literally, in my private VIP sessions, I'll have clients like wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, just touch your arms. You can tap, bring attention and awareness to your body so you know what's going on, and you're out of your head, back into your body, okay? So you can ground with food, with scents, with like incense, other things like that. Anything that helps you. Sage is a great grounding scent as well. Anything that brings you out of your head and into your body. And then the fourth thing, once you're in the state, have a nice little calming set of playlist of music, right? So this music can also be calming and centering into your nervous system. And even notice my cadence of how I'm speaking. I'm speaking a little bit slower and calmer in this video than I might in other videos. So calming, centering music, ideally non-vocal. The reason that is it actually helps you get in a flow state. If you're like working on something like Baroque music has been shown, Baroque, which is kind of classical music like Mozart, that tends to calm you down. All right. And then the other thing you could do, I love these apps like Endel. It's Endel. And I also use New Calm, which is a meditative app. It's much deeper than Headspace or Calm. Phenomenal app. Really, really recommend it. I'll put links here in the show notes. But if you do some of these apps, they're super calming and centering. All right. And they bring your body, your nervous system out of that sympathetic state back into your parasympathetic state, which is where your amygdala relaxes, which is what we want. Okay. And you can also do some other things like there's some herbs that you can smoke that are very relaxing, that are safe. There's also take ashwagandha, can be calming. Whatchamacallit, the basil, holy basil is really good, as well as a tea. And then, other foods that can be very calming and minimizing your caffeine. Lots of times we have too much caffeine in our system too, so that can be an issue. And then the next one is number 5, which is visualize an identity stretch. So in this exercise, to reset your nervous system, you're actually going to visualize a successful outcome. And you're going to stretch yourself into that identity, stretch yourself into that persona, and visualize that thing playing out, however you want it to do or play out. And just see things going the way you want them to go. And it helps you basically create neural pathways that those things will actually turn out the way you want. And I also call this identity stretching, where if I'm like, okay, I want to get to making 50,000, or I want to get to making 100,000, or I want to make 100,000 a year, or I want to show up powerfully and not mute my voice. Well, then you start seeing yourself and you start asking yourself also, what's that alter ego exercise, which I highly recommend my alter ego video, or break down the alter ego. And that's going to be an very effective tool and strategy to get yourself anchored into a more powerful state. All right. So you stretch into this persona, into this person, and then you feel more and more comfortable with that version of you. Then the sixth thing is timeline meditation. And this is where you go off in the future. You've already seen the successful outcome. And then you visualize each step and you feel each step and you hear, see, imagine, taste, touch, etc. As multisensory as you can, you anchor into each step along the way, and it's basically you've blazed a path through the neural pathway of your mind using basically a deep meditative hypnotic state almost. And I have a timeline meditation right here that you can grab as well and go through that. But if you do these 6 core steps, you can take your nervous system from a stress state back into a calm, centered state in a beautiful, beautiful way. So much love. Let me know how you like this video. Share it with a friend. Let me know what else I missed on, and I'll add that to the next one. And what else you would like to learn, what other videos you would like me to create. So much love. Have a great day.